Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday midweek boost. This is the second week that we've done this, so technically we're getting a little bit better, and there's also some growth to be had. So we're working on it, and we're so excited to be here. So last week I told you that we would have musicians join us on Wednesday nights, and we are so fortunate. For everybody who's familiar with our center, you'll recognize this person. And for everybody who's new, I'd like to introduce everyone to the fabulous and wonderful Pierre Gautreau, who's going to sing us in tonight. Welcome, Pierre.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be back. And yep, I am Pierre. And
Awesome.
let's start off with a song.
All right, take it away.
This is called Grace. Lace the shoes upon my feet and go walking down the street with a smile on my face. I found this joy deep inside. It busted my heart open wide and filled it with grace. It's food for my soul, nourishes me as I grow old. It enlightens my mind when I live in grace. When I live in grace. Every day starts anew. There's always more good to do when we live in grace. To put a smile on someone's face, or just be there to hold the space and wash them in love. It's what we can do to see right through to the essence of who they are. Like you and me, look beyond what you see. Love's a bottomless reservoir when you live in grace. When you live in grace. Aligned with divine, the greatest life you will find in grace. In grace. In grace. Lace the shoes upon my feet and go walking down the street with a smile on my face.
Wow. Awesome, Pierre. So good to have you back.
Oh, it's so great to be back.
Grace, the smile on your face. Tell me what's happening with you these days.
Well, life is wonderful. My band is doing very well. I'm enjoying retirement, so I can focus on my music and writing and performing and playing in front of people and spreading the good word of just joy, love, peace, happiness, gratitude, all of that stuff. That's all I write about. So it's great to be
That's
able to spread that word.
wonderful. Well, no one does it better through music. They're using their talent the way you do, Pierre. So
Well, thank you.
really, really happy to have you back.
That's
And
great.
we'll see you at the end of service tonight.
Sounds good.
You're gonna sing us out as well. So
I am.
All right, so we'll look forward to that.
We'll see you then.
And see you then for sure. And just to everybody else, I just want to say welcome to the Global Truth Center Toronto. And this is our second week, as I said. So really just bring your consciousness into this moment if you can. And I invite you all just to become really present and just take a deep breath, close your eyes if it's comfortable for you to do that, and come into this moment and recognize that this gift, this 1 hour gift that you're giving yourself is something to be grateful for. You've taken the time to show up. Just allow yourself to be immersed in all of the goodness that's coming your way, all of the energy that's coming your way. And, you know, we have an amazing center here. We have amazing people who are at our center. And we have so many things going on in the background that help us in the growth of the center. And one of those things happens to be that we have magnificent practitioners. And I am so honored tonight to introduce you to someone who is a practitioner at the center for many years, but also who is now stepping into ministerial school. So I look forward to having this meditation and then having a bit of a chat. So I'd like to introduce the wonderful Nick Marcelli. And so Nick, welcome.
Okay, welcome everybody to the center, to this Wednesday break, this Wednesday lift. And I'm going to take a moment to start some music. I invite everyone to be present in this moment and to let your concerns of the day fall away. I invite everyone to pay attention to your breath without changing anything. Just relax and let the breath fall in gently, easily, with no effort. Be aware of the energy all around you. And be aware that all of us, all the members of Global Truth Center on this live stream are drawing our energy from the same place. Be aware of that connection. Yes, there's one universal creative spirit. I call this creative principle God, Spirit, universal mind, universal love. The Creator is love, and love fills the universe. It is our truth, the truth we all share. Universal mind is the source of all bounty, all blessing, all abundance, all life. Always revealing itself in experience, always coming into being. Universal mind is loving, and I am love. I share all of the creative power. It is at the core of who I am. And I recognize the creative power in everybody. We all draw our light from the same loving source. I open up and welcome all the bounty, all the love that is available for me and for all of us. And now, I'd like to offer an original poem. I wrote this back in the 20s after our center had had a prayer program for prosperity. The program manifested for me in a very big way, I would say. And after sitting with it and thinking about it for a year or quite a few months, I wrote this. Gratitude. I am walking in a land of bountiful excess. My life flows on in self-determination, transforming fear and doubt in the perfect light of love, blessing and releasing limitation. There is wisdom in the creatures of the ever-changing land, the perfect whole embodied in each part. The lighted path unfolds, showing signs along the way that attune me to the wisdom of my heart. There's a meeting of our minds, a connection of our hearts, your greatness shining out there like a star. Creation now revealing as we share our hopes and dreams, sending sacred healing near and far. Children bringing light and joy and brightening our lives. Our future is the vision in their eyes. What mystery will they show us as their special gifts unfold? What world of peace and justice will arise? In a world of understanding, all places are my home. With gratitude, I bless my dwelling place. We truly are one family. We stand on common ground. One world united in a grand embrace. I am walking in a land of bountiful excess. My heart flows on in self-determination, transforming fear and doubt in the perfect light of love, blessing and releasing limitation. And I invite everyone to continue to breathe deeply and fully. The gifts of universal mind come to us in a variety of ways, from a field of all possibilities. I choose what I am bringing into my life. The abundant vitality that fills the earth is the gift of universal mind, and it's the gift to me. I am full of life and vitality. Whatever transient experience I'm having, I know that health and abundant life are my truth. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the vitality that universal mind has, that I live in and express. Health and vitality mean different things to different people, and I invite everyone to think about what health and vitality mean to you. Please continue to breathe deeply and fully. The universal mind is abundant beyond any limitation. There is no limitation possible in universal loving creation. Abundance can mean any number of things. It can mean an abundance of wealth, an abundance of support, an abundance of time as we go about our days, following our hearts, following our callings. I am grateful for all the abundance that universal mind has to offer. And I invite everyone to think about abundance. What does abundance mean to me? That's the question to pose yourself. And I invite everyone to continue to breathe deeply and fully. Universal mind is love, and I bring love to all of my relationships. Relationship can be very broad and all-encompassing. There's the relationship with nature, the relationship with the earth, and there's the spectrum of relationships between me and all the people in my life. In loving creation, in the spirit of loving creation, I am free to see the God presence in everyone, to recognize their equality, their unity with me in the universal creative process. And I'm free to love myself without any reservation. I invite everyone to think about relationship, to think about their own relationships, and I encourage everyone to continue to breathe deeply and fully. The universal mind is creative, and I am creative. I bring my gifts to the world, as we all do, each in our own unique way, offering what we have to offer. Creativity is a gift, and I am grateful for my gifts. I invite everyone to think about creativity in your own life, to think about your own gifts and what all of us bring. And I continue to breathe deeply and fully. In the big picture of universal creation, consider all of the possibilities. all of what's available. Just as each of us create according to our intention, each of us gives gratitude in our own unique way. And I invite everyone to give gratitude for whatever blessings are in your life. And I know that this is the truth. My word is the law, and I release my word as law. Please join me in saying, and so it is. And now I invite everyone to open your eyes and just connect with the rest of the service. Namaste.
Ooh, well, Nick, thank you for that amazing grounding, centering moment. And thank you for that wonderful poem that in the middle of it, so creative. And so thank you for sharing that. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'd say I'm doing pretty well.
Good. How is gratitude showing up for you this month?
Well, gratitude's been showing up for me for a couple of years now. I've been on this journey to learn all about advanced consciousness and ministry. And I don't know if that's what stimulated my intense inner seeking, inner searching. But I'm continually making new insights. It all seems to be coming together. And I'm learning the principle that I create as God creates, and everything is available there for me.
Nice.
And I'm grateful to know that and to live it. On some level, I've known it for a long time, but you know how sometimes it really sinks in after a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you hear it in the right way, and all of a sudden it concretizes, right? And then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually living this. It's no longer, you don't even have to consciously do it, you're just consciously living. And it's a big difference between trying to be conscious and just being conscious, right?
And I had a chance to be grateful just today.
Oh, yeah?
I sometimes go to a part-time job that's outdoors.
Okay.
And when I looked out and saw all the snow, I said, this is exactly the weather condition I didn't want to work in. And I spent part of my time walking around outdoors and thinking, I really don't like this. And
Right.
at some point I said, nope, I got to get over this.
Right.
So I decided to be grateful for a new experience.
Good. Good. Well, that's, you know what, that's what gratitude's all about. It's not planned. It's sometimes in that moment, and it's with things that we don't expect to find gratitude in. How's your ministerial studies coming along? Actually, I'm going to just ask you like one more question about it, because I want to know, how's your ministerial studies coming along? Are there some challenges? And I wanted to ask you also, how can our community support you, if you can think of some ways for, you know, that we might be able to support you in any way? So
okay,
I know it's a lot, but if you could just answer that question, I think
the ministry studies are challenging, as you know. They really make me question whether or not I belong here. I know I do, but the idea is to take what I already know and bring it to a new level. And that can be an incredibly challenging experience. And I really have to stay grounded. And as our guiding principle says, remember who I am. And as far as what the community can do, I need people to believe in me.
Oh,
When I doubt myself And that does happen. I've gone through a whole range of emotions. So I need people to have faith in me.
So that actually is part of the process. You see, here's the thing. I love that you brought up that it makes you question what you believe, because we all should be doing that. You know, anytime that there's, you know, if you're involved in anything that makes you, that says this is how you must think, and if you think different, then, but this philosophy says what works for you, and then it makes you question and keep coming back. And the other thing is that doubt that you feel, that is anybody who's gone through even practitionership, or anybody who's taking classes and feels like you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and you feel doubtful, that is actually where the growth happens, because it really makes you go deep inside and say, yes, I am, you know, I am doing this. I am not giving up on me. I am worthy of it. And when you push through that barrier, that's what becoming a minister is. It's not, if it was easy, and if there was no doubt, if there was nothing, then it wouldn't push you to the higher level that you're going to reach. You're actually, you know, ministerial school makes you take a look at the roots, the things that are really still holding you back, even though you think you've worked through all kinds of things. And it really brings you back to basics and makes you expand and look at those roots so that you can pull them out once and for all.
That's exactly right. And our teacher, Dr. James Mellon, pushes our buttons a little bit to bring us to those moments.
And I will share this with you. Dr. James Mellon is also somebody who will take a look at your roots and find your roots and find a way. There are people who are really intellectual and know the stuff book smart, and he will find what it is that they need to grow with. And you will find that within your class even. I bet you already have that. Some people are greater at some things and other things. And James has a way of making all of us push through our comfort zone from wherever we are. And so trust the process, my friend. Trust the process. You've got this. I remember sitting down with you the night you started practitionership and having a conversation with you about stepping into being a practitioner. So trust the process.
Yes, I remember that conversation.
So trust the process.
So
and
yes.
Nick, yep, you are supported. I just want to say that by the community, but also know that you are also there to support yourself, to know the truth for yourself. And so don't let go of that as well.
Thank you. And I appreciate the people who have moved ahead of me, including some people that are in my class. I'm really overwhelmed by what they've accomplished already.
And you've accomplished more than maybe you're giving yourself credit for too. Just leave room for that truth as well, okay?
Okay.
Take those words. And as you know, I'm here anytime for you as well, as we have spoken in the past, so know that. Nick, do you want to say the affirmation this week, and maybe then everyone can say it with you? And if you don't have it, I do, and I'll do it.
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, well, I will say it because I have it here just in case. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it once, this monthly affirmation, and then I invite everybody to say it with me. And Nick, thank you so much for your meditation. That was awesome. Thank you. You really grounded me as well tonight, so thank you. And here it is. I bask in a sea of gratitude as my life is blessed to overflowing. So I want you to repeat that with me. Wherever you are, just take a moment and say, I bask in a sea of gratitude as my life is blessed to overflowing. Thank you, Nick. And we'll see you. We will see you shortly. See you back here at the end of the service, possibly.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're most welcome. And to everybody else, I say to you, welcome, welcome, welcome. Gratitude is this month. So how has it been showing up for you? Let me ask you a question. Are you practicing it? Are you practicing gratitude every day? Remember, like we said last week, when you live in gratitude, when you say thank you, you are telling the universe that you have something worthy and that you are worthy of it. You're telling yourself that you're worthy of it as well. Today, I'm going to talk about the creative process, which is funny because Nick talked about it in his talk. I'm going back to the basics. Don't get hung up on creative jargon, by the way, if you're new to the center. It's simply saying the creative process is stated in some other ways, some that are familiar, like change your thinking, change your life. You may have heard that before. How about think about it, think about it and you create it. How about you have to believe it to see it? Have you heard any of those things? Because these are all common ways to interpret the creative process. That's what we call it. And this is really, like I said, back to basics. I want to give everybody a start. So for some of us, it's a reminder. And for some of us, this is going to be something new that you hear. So we know so much about this creative consciousness now. We talk about quantum physics. We talk about moving energy. We talk about it in many ways, but really the idea is that we're moving energy, and we're moving energy to create the life that we want. So how does this thing called the creative process works? Well, there are three stages: mind or thought, soul or universe, and body or effect. If you think about it, mind is thought. Thought is that creative spark, that thing that is unique to each and every one of us. This is where creation starts. It's that spark. We have an idea, and then we think about it. It goes into the ether that just says yes, and then it manifests or shows up in our life. Now, before we get too muddy into all of the concepts, there are a couple of analogies that work well for this. I know that for some people in our community, again, this is a review, and some of you may never ever want to hear it this way again, but here we go. You know, we think about it when you plant a seed, right? You plant a seed, it goes into the soil. And like magic, if all the conditions are right, the water is there, the sun is there, the seed grows. Seed, thought, soil, universe, and plant effect. This is where it gets tricky, because what seeds are we planting? If you want cucumbers, are you planting cucumber seeds? You cannot have tomatoes, you cannot plant tomatoes and want cucumbers. And the same is true with our lives. For example, you cannot want abundance and keep living with thoughts that are keeping you in lack. Whatever we put our creative energy or our thoughts into ether or soil, we are creating something. The old saying, be careful what you wish for. And also, whether you think you can or you can't, you are correct. Those are sayings that talk about be careful what you wish for, be careful the seeds you plant. When I was studying to be a practitioner, we had to come up with an analogy that wasn't seed related. And for the creative process, we had to come up with some way of having it. And so I was thinking about a conversation that I had with my sister. Now, this goes back many years ago. I was with a group of friends, and they said to me that I was a little bit, trying to take control of things. And I remember thinking, no, I'm not. I'm just doing what I enjoy. So it sat with me for a couple of weeks, and it started to grow. The seed started to grow. That maybe there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was controlling. Maybe I was controlling at the detriment of someone else. Yeah, I used to live in drama and tragedy. But anyway, so I called my sister and I said, Bonnie, I said, my friends are telling me that I am controlling. And I said, I don't understand. Like, I love everyone, and I'm always excited when someone else succeeds. And my sister said, I don't know how to say this, and I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. She said, but when we were kids, and she said, if I can't be the bus driver, I don't want to play. I went, oh my gosh. I remember saying that as a child. And I'll tell you what, that actually, I thought, oh my gosh, am I still like that? Like, that was an example of something that I was. But I got to tell you that even that thought no longer holds true for me. But it made a good analogy. I'm a different person now. So I understand that I just have this ambition, but it's always with love. And I also, because I'm aware that I can step back and make different choices to allow other people to feel their success as well. I don't micromanage as a result of learning that. so young because I thought, let everybody experience what it is that they need to experience. So anyway, I thought of that in the creative process when I was asked to do that. And I thought of it in terms of a bus. And I remember telling this to my fellow practitioner class. So again, you're going to hear it again. And how the story of that bus. The bus is the soil or the creative stuff. Where it goes depends on the passengers that it picks up. So if you don't want to go to Sudbury, don't pick up passengers that are going to Sudbury. The destination of the bus is determined by who gets on the bus and what is on the bus. So that is like our lives. Again, it's a very simple explanation, but it is important to know that this is a process and that we can use this process to begin to live our lives and create the lives that we want. We get to tap into that creative process. So you start to focus on the life you want. You want abundance? Start thinking abundance. And if you think that you can't think of things abundance, there's abundance everywhere. Look around. There's many things in life that are abundant. And what's interesting is the more you start to focus on abundant things, the more abundant things start to show up. So start to focus and then just see how things start to show up for you. Here's another thing that's important to the creative process. Are you still carrying around old thoughts that are no longer relevant in your life? Maybe you're carrying them out of habit. Start to look at those and maybe start to plan new ways of thinking with it. Sometimes we get caught up in beliefs that we were told as children. We hold those thoughts because that is what we were told. And even if there's no evidence at all to support it, we hold on to it. Maybe it was a teacher who told us something. Maybe we weren't good enough. I mean, I had a teacher and I remember she wrote, "Fred wanders aimlessly. If only he would apply himself," she said, "he would have so much potential." And I believed that story for years. I believed that I was a slacker. I believed that I wasn't applying myself. And it took me many years of carrying that to take a look at it. So when I started to learn about this philosophy, I started to take a look at some of those old beliefs that I was holding on to. And I thought about it, and I remember very profoundly this came up. I thought I wasn't wandering aimlessly. I remember when I was a kid, I was going around in the class trying to help other students who didn't understand the assignment. So it may have looked like I was wandering aimlessly, but I was just trying to make sure everybody understood. And I wasn't not applying myself. You know, I had a very challenging childhood, and I was doing everything I could basically to keep it together. And now you can imagine when I started learning this and taking a look at some of those beliefs in my life, how freeing it was to learn that I could let those go. I could let those old stories and old beliefs go. They were something that was planted by a teacher or someone else, and I no longer had to carry them. They weren't serving it, so it wasn't serving my best life. So for you, what about your life? What are you carrying that might be keeping you from your best life? It could be something simple. It could be something complex. It's all energy. And here's the truth, you don't have to carry it any longer. You don't have to carry anything that no longer serves your highest good. But you do have to be willing to look at it. You have to be able to take a look at your life and the areas of your life where you may feel challenged, and you have to be able to visit those beliefs. There are many ways to do that, and honestly, over the next time, over the next weeks that we spend together, we're going to talk about ways to dig in and go deeper. But right now, I mean, just think about that there's a process, you can look at it, and there is a way that you can work through it. So keep that in mind. And if you can, try and find a trusted friend or family if something comes up, and ask them if there's something, I think this, is there something that you can think of? And, you'll be surprised how forthcoming sometimes too forthcoming, but you got to be open to hearing that there might be something that you need to work on. And, if you don't have a close friend or someone else, find a practitioner from the center. I mean, that's, find a practitioner to work with. They will help you find things and know the truth about things quicker than sometimes you can, even with family and friends. But for now, just be willing to look at those things in your life that aren't working for you anymore, things that are holding you back, because the best part is we get to choose again what we carry. So keep that in mind. Gratitude for having choices is a great way to start. Knowing that I have choices brings me gratitude. Brings me to a place of gratitude for that. And that's what I say. So Have an attitude of gratitude when it comes to finding out things about yourself. And also start to show up in the world in a different way. And when you choose to let go of those things in your life that no longer serve you, our lives change. You ever meet those people who just seem happy? And then you always think, oh my God, life just works out for them. And we're attracted to that. Why are we attracted to that? We're attracted to that because they're living on a certain level in a vibrational energy where they've let go of a lot of things. Chances are they've done the work in some way, shape, or form to get them to that point. When we meet new friends, it's an opportunity for us to look at some things. I remember I met some friends a while back, and I heard them say something to me which caught me off guard. They said, what would you know? I mean, you clearly were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I laughed so hard because I thought my life circumstances, I was definitely not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, whatever that means. That was just their perception of me. Yet, in spite of everything, as I said to you last week, I wouldn't change a thing of my life because it means that I have the people in my life that I have, and I have the ambitions that I have. And, some of the ways that I live now might not be there if it wasn't for those circumstances in my life. And so I'm grateful for it all. And in truth, actually, when I think about it, I didn't need a silver spoon. Perhaps my new story is that everything showed up exactly as it needed to show up. And maybe that was the silver spoon. Who knows? I get to choose how I see it. But I just know that, I've made choices in my life that have brought me to where I am. So I wanted to tell you something interesting. I had so many topics prepared to talk about today. The day unfolded. And I thought I have to share with you some of the things that happened today because it really was an interesting day. I had a not so stellar day. And I realized so there was a few things that happened. I realized that I had underestimated money that I owed to my contractor. I arrived at an appointment that I thought I was early for, and they said, no, sorry, you're not on time. Your appointment was a half an hour ago, and I can't rebook for another month. I was driving my car, and that little stone chip turned into a huge plaque on my car window, and I was running around trying to get 100 things done. It truly was not present in a good way. It wasn't a positive way at all. And when I tell you that I lived an enlightened life, I really do. And I can tell when things are off because I feel it. Like it just feels like I'm carrying, a ton of extra weight on my back, right? It feels like I'm carrying bricks or something. And so I could feel the weight of it. So what I did is I stopped. I was driving my car, pulled into a parking lot, and I said, Fred, breathe. You need to turn this around because you know how powerful the mind is. And if you keep carrying this energy around, the outcome is not going to be good. And I went, okay, so I couldn't get settled. So I did some deep breathing. I called a friend and a family member, and I called the ones that helped keep me on track to say, now, you've got this. And they make me accountable for what I'm feeling. And then I did a little gratitude meditation. When I tell you that gratitude every day is a practice, it really helped today. And I trusted that all is well. I stopped feeling lack of money that I'm having to spend. I started to feel abundant. I remembered a couple of weeks ago too, actually, that I test drove a car while my car was in getting an oil change. And while I test drove this car, the car dealer said, oh, let me write you up a quote. And he talked about this new insurance that they have for broken windows. And when he asked me that, I said, oh, I don't need insurance for that if I bought a new car. He said, I haven't had a broken window in over like 20 years. And I remember as soon as I said it, I went, don't put that out there. And so it doesn't surprise me because voila, I have a broken window less than 2 weeks later. So careful what you think and careful the energy you put behind it. So it did change my outlook today. Oh, I did change my outlook. And then the other thing happened is I ended up getting some money today, and it was enough to cover all of those unforeseen expenses. So I felt gratitude for that. I felt gratitude that I have the choice, and that a long time ago when I began this journey, it provided me with simple tools that I can use. And this is what I'm trying to tell you today is use this tool, creative process, and use it to get the outcome that you want, regardless of the circumstances. You can always have a better experience. We start to see the world start to see your world, actually, if you think about it, in a way that brings you peace, in a way that brings you happiness, in a way that helps you change the direction of the world at large and your world, your personal world. Just start to see the world in a different way. Begin to use the creative process consciously by planting those seeds that you want. Let on the bus who you want on the bus to get to the destination that you want to go. Start to see the world in a loving way and in a way that serves the highest good for you, but not just for you, but for everyone. And you know what? Begin to realize that there's a power and ability in our lives that we can manifest the way that is uniquely ours to bring into the world. So I wish you well on your journey this week. Remember to stay focused on gratitude. I am grateful for your presence here tonight and that you gave yourself this gift of time. So be grateful to yourself for that. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. Love and light, everyone, and namaste. Namaste. So such an amazing pleasure to spend time with you. And I hope you feel inspired, and I hope you're going to show up every Wednesday night. This is the point where we talk about contributing your support to the center. Whether you give $1, whether you give $100, $1 million, it's all the same in the eyes of the universe. The idea is to give from a place of love. Remember, money is energy, energy is love, and give from that place of love and abundance. We need your support to help keep getting this message out there. So if you can help out, that would be great in any way possible. But don't do it from a perspective of lack. Do it from a perspective of love. I just want to remind you that classes continue with Reverend Dale Olansky. You're going to meet her next week, by the way. I've been hearing great reports about the students. They're very excited and everybody's really in there giving. And so keep doing that. Keep doing that, please. I want to thank everyone who is part of the service tonight. I want to thank Carrie Garnier. Thank you, Carrie, for handling everything in the background and making it a smooth transition to this process. I want to thank Pierre, who's got one more song before we say goodnight. And Nick, thank you again for an incredible, incredible meditation tonight. Really brought peace. And I know everybody can visit that. Everybody can visit that meditation throughout the week. So visit it if you need a little boost. And thank you, Nick. And now I invite the fabulous and magnificent Pierre Gautreau to sing a song.
Thank you very much. This is called Keeping It Real. Don't wait too long. Time will be gone. Gratitude's a place to be. It's not always easy. Based on my history, but I'm older, wiser, the fog's beginning to clear. The happiness I was looking for had always been so near, so near. Living life now, made a vow. Living life now, keeping real, being present, so when it's time to go, I won't regret it. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Life made a vow, living life now, keeping real, being present, so when it's time to go, I won't regret it. Keeping it real, keeping it real. Gratitude is my attitude. Join me, we will see more loving humanity. Live life now, made a vow. Live life now, keep real, being present, so when it's time to go, you won't regret it. Keeping it real, keeping it real.
Wonderful, Pierre. It is so nice to have you back. And yes, keep it real, keep an attitude of gratitude, keep it real, keep smiling. Everyone's
Absolutely.
all right. Thank you, Pierre. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Love you.